Welcome back to the Western Oklahoma Wake Up Show. Well, we are getting closer and closer to the primary election that's coming up on June 16th, and we've talked with a lot of, candidates for state office, governor, lieutenant governor, but we're also spending some time talking about some of the local races. And in my hometown of Ouachita County, we have a couple of commissioners' races, and one we're going to focus on today is District 3, and we have the current Ouachita County District 3 Commissioner, Greg Chandler, in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning, Todd. I'm glad to be here this morning.
Well, appreciate you coming in first time on the radio here, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, I'll try to make it painless for you, okay?
I appreciate that.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. You're kind of getting ready to wrap up your first term in office, right?
Yes, sir. This will be the first term for me as county commissioner. I've worked for the county most of my life, so I'm familiar with the process. But we've had a good 3.5 years, and hope to continue to get put 4 more in for the public.
All right. So you're a Sentinel guy, right?
I'm a Sentinel guy. Me and my wife. My wife's a Mangum girl.
Okay.
I'm born and raised in Sentinel, and we've got 5 kids.
Awesome.
They're scattered out from Mangum to Cuero, Texas, to Sentinel, and youngest is here at Weatherford in college, first year of college. So
you got a little empty nest syndrome now?
We got an empty nest syndrome. It's temporary, though, because we've got 10 grandkids with those 5 kids. So,
nice.
So they keep us busy. They're all very active in sports, and we get to make a lot of trips to enjoy a lot of basketball, football, wrestling, and softball, whatever comes down the pipe.
You are a busy guy for sure.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about things in Ouachita County. Obviously, as you mentioned, you've worked for the county for years. You've been the commissioner for the past year. Money is always an issue in a county, with less population, right? Not a big sales tax base, right?
Exactly. Not a lot of things in Ouachita County to draw the tax money in. We're kind of in that desert area of good tax money, and it's something that I think a lot of counties in the area face, but Ouachita County is kind of a special special circumstance because we've got Weatherford and Clinton, Elk City, and Hobart all around us, where a lot of the population goes to get their goods.
Yeah.
And Ouachita County's kind of missing out,
Yeah, you don't have a
section.
big retail hub. You have a couple of smaller grocery stores, some dollar stores. So is it challenging when you put together the budgets for the county each year?
It's very challenging. The word is used a lot that Ouachita County's broke. I don't like to use the word broke. I look at us as we're challenged. We've got to make the best decisions on how to use our money towards the needs versus wants. So, yes, it's a very challenging situation.
And, of course, one of the needs you always hear as a county commissioner, hey, I need this road fixed, I need this bridge fixed, and you have to prioritize that, right?
You do. We try to, of course, bridges, are a big safety concern. Roads, we try to maintain all our roads, to our 45-mile-an-hour speed limit across the county. And when you get down to assessing where to make those improvements, you've got to kind of base it off of the most traveled road, most highly traveled roads. If you have a dead end road where somebody would like a chip seal road, and there's one house down it, and 3 cars go down today, it's hard to justify that, for that person. I wish I could do it for everybody, but it's a tough call sometimes.
And kind of explain how the money comes for like roads and bridges, because there's some state money, but obviously a lot of it's based on tax in the county, isn't it?
Most of our road funds come from fuel tax through the state, and it is put into a pool in the state of Oklahoma, and it's divided up in the counties by population.
Okay.
So we receive a portion of what our road mileage is according to our population. And there has been some new funding that's come down on our appropriations through the state that they call the PAC fund. And it's based off the gross production tax in the state of Oklahoma. And basically what it did is any county that it set a cap on it. Any county that was getting less than $4,000 a mile, that bumped them up to $4,000 a mile. So it's going to help Ouachita County quite a bit. I think we were laying in there at around $2,700 a mile is what we were getting in our appropriations. So this new PAC money, the legislators up at the Capitol fought hard for it last year, and they got it pushed through. And
but that's tied to gross production. Is there a chance that if that goes down,
it fluctuates?
Okay,
it fluctuates. So you can't bank on that, but it fluctuates month to month. But and then there's a portion of that fund also that is dedicated to bridges, and my district, and I think Bart's district also, we got a bridge this year approved for that PAC funding, and that will help tremendously. To qualify for that, it has to be on a major collector, one of your major collectors, and it's got to be structurally deficient, which, we use CED here in Clinton to help us with the engineering on that. So it'll definitely put a little brighter future in the funding issues of Ouachita County on the road side, on the road funding.
We're talking with Ouachita County District 3 Commissioner Greg Chandler. Now, once again, you're kind of in your first term as county commissioner, hoping to be reelected for another term, but you worked for the county before. What were some of the eye-opening things when you actually became a commissioner? What are some of the things you've learned? Because it's more than just roads and bridges when you're the commissioner, right?
It's a lot more than roads and bridges. You realize how many problems and challenges there are across the county, all the way from rural health care to grocery stores to your elderly people being able to get to doctor's appointments. It's just there's a huge mass of I wouldn't necessarily call them problems, but they're issues, that need to be dealt with. And as a local leader in the community, I've tried to stay very active, within several different boards in our county outside of the county. I'm a member of the Cordell Hospital Board. I sit on the SWOTA board out there at Burns Flat. I've done the CADC board there. Community Action Development Authority down at Frederick, all good entities, and they all address local concerns that we have.
Well, yeah, you talk about being on the board for the Cordell Hospital. I mean, it's actually amazing that a town the size of Cordell still has a hospital, because you look at other communities. You mentioned off air, Sentinel used to have a hospital years ago. Thomas used to have one, but they're still there, which serves a big need for Ouachita County.
They do, and we would like to see those entities be able to stay within our county. We've lost so much over the years. There comes a point that we've got to stand up and make that known, the need of those entities inside our county.
And then, of course, you have the sheriff's department in the county as well. You have a big county jail, and, of course, it takes money to operate the jail, but you have been getting kind of an influx of some other inmates from other areas that's helping somewhat, I guess?
Sheriff Rozelle has done a good job for us since he's took office. The previous administration did a great job for us. Mr. Roselle, he's bringing in inmates from Comanche County that's helping board of prisoners, the payroll on it. He's bringing in some money to where it's not putting so much pressure on the general fund, to fund that jail. We still have 3 years until that jail's paid for. It'll be paid off in 2029.
Wow.
And when that's done, that'll free up some tax money of our 2% county tax, So hopefully Ouachita County will be on a little better road after the jail's paid off.
We're talking with Greg Chandler, who is District 3 Commissioner in Ouachita County. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with more.
Breaking news. President Donald Trump endorses conservative Mike Mazzei for governor. President Trump says Mazzei is a MAGA warrior and that Mike Mazzei knows the America First policies required to grow our economy, create great jobs, cut taxes and regulations, promote Made in the USA, and unleash American energy dominance. Trump says Mike Mazzei will fight tirelessly to support our amazing farmers and ranchers, keep our borders safe and secure, stop migrant crime, ensure law and order, and defend our always under siege Second Amendment. President Trump gave conservative Mike Mazzei his complete and total endorsement.
This is Mike Mazzei. I'm honored to be endorsed by President Trump. Like Trump, I won't compromise with the radical left. We'll fight back and win.
Endorsed by President Donald Trump. Conservative Republican Mike Mazzei for governor. Authorized and paid for by Mazzei for Governor 2026.
When it comes to your business being noticed, it's Davis Printing. Sure, they do business cards, envelopes, brochures, newsletters, and carbonless forms, but they go way beyond print. Need mailing solutions, postcards, letters, invoices, quarterly reports? They have it covered. Want to stand out? Banners, wall wraps, monument signs, channel letters, window graphics, and even digital signs. And don't forget the swag. Shirts, pins, promo gear, all personalized. All across Oklahoma, Davis Printing delivers. Email davisprinting@att.net, and let's get to work.
Right Media has Western Oklahoma covered. On the radio with the Coyote Classic, The Zoo, The Score, and News Talk KCLI. Plus live streaming local sports like Clinton, Weatherford, Thomas, Sayre, Watauga, Hydro Weekly, and Southwestern Oklahoma State University. We also cover Western Oklahoma with the West Oak Weekly. We deliver sports, entertainment, and information on air, in print, or online. That's right.media.
David, I'm having a tough time sleeping. You got any thoughts on that?
You need to come in and let us get you on the right mattress, Harold. It'll make all the difference in the world.
Talk about that a little bit.
Right now, with Stearns & Foster, we have up to $900 savings on their adjustable mattress sets. The Tempur-Pedic, $500 on select adjustable mattress sets. And we have a large selection to choose from, so you're going to find what you need.
18, folks. 18 months, same as cash. That's no interest, no down payment. So come on into Tot Fest. That's all with approved credit. Tot Fest on the main corner in downtown Weatherford.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Briley Baca is an investment advisor representative of and advisory services offered through Royal Fund Management, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Every dollar you save for retirement has a silent partner, and it's your crazy Uncle Sam. He's waiting with his hand out, ready to take a chunk of your IRA, your 401k, and even your Social Security if you're not careful. But here's the truth. You can fight back. With the right strategy, you can keep more of your hard-earned money in your pocket and out of Washington's. At Advanced Financial Strategies, we specialize in family wealth management, helping families in Western Oklahoma cut down on future tax bills, maximize income, and keep control of their financial future. Don't wait for the IRS to decide how much of your retirement you get to keep. Call me, Briley Baca, a certified financial planner professional here in Clinton, at 323-6800, or visit our website, retirewithbaca.com. Advanced Financial Strategies, your money, your future, your choice.
Welcome back to the Western Oklahoma Wake Up Show. Our guest is Ouachita County District 3 Commissioner Greg Chandler, running for re-election. The primary is coming up on June 16th. Now, over the last week, we've heard something about the ambulance service going away, I guess, in Burns Flat. They had their own ambulance service that served a good portion of the county. What's the latest on that?
It's a developing story. They've had some issues there for several months. I think, Todd, basically what it boils down to is Burns Flat's currently a volunteer service, and it's getting harder and harder for people to volunteer their time. The cost of living today is astonishing, tremendous, and these volunteers commit so much of their own time towards that they're having to look at a paying job and then volunteering their time. I have the utmost respect for all of them. I was a volunteer firefighter at Sentinel for 23 years, and I understand what they're going through. It's a funding issue.
Sure.
You would like to be able to pay the volunteers what they're worth, but the money's just not there, Todd. We currently, the county has in place a tax, that does, a portion of that money does go to emergency services in the county. That portion probably needs to be a lot more, but the cost to run an organization like that is tremendous, The town of Burns Flat is currently, the overseers of that district, which encompasses Sentinel, Dill City, Burns Flat, and Foss, which Canute's in our district too, but Elk City Fire and EMS kind of comes into the Canute district right there and takes care of them. But they're just met with a lot of financial challenges. And it's going to take a lot of hard work to figure out a permanent solution there.
And the options, there's probably not many, but there are companies out there that will go in and do agreements and run the ambulance service, but you usually have to, put something, a stipend, I guess, on the water bill or something like that. But I would imagine these towns, there may not be enough water meters to cover that, is there? Or?
There's, I think there's already a water meter stipend in place in a few of the communities. We're looking at roughly 2,000 people in Burns Flat and around a little under 800 in Sentinel and probably 200 in Foss. There's just not the population there.
Yeah, and
the board of trustees there at Burns Flat are currently in talks with Signer Ambulance.
Okay,
Johnny Red has agreed to come in for a month and cover our county, that district, ambulance district, with Signer, and his goal is to collect some data and just search possibilities for that county. Where the town goes with it after that is just kind of basically up to the town board.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how much like the county has to. I mean, obviously you said you have this emergency responder fund
Yes.
but that helps fire departments as well as
it does.
as
The
EMS.
fire departments get a percentage of that money too.
But you wouldn't be able to just say, "Hey, we've got some extra money. We can cover ambulance service," because there is no extra money.
There is no extra money. No, that's definitely something that us local leaders in these smaller counties need to be soliciting our legislators about. It is a need in rural America. Rural health and emergency services is underfunded, and we need to be doing something about it.
If we want people to stay in our rural communities, we've got to have the health care resources in place.
Exactly.
We're talking with Ouachita County Commissioner Greg Chandler, running for re-election, the primary coming up on June 16th. The other thing that's been in the news lately, there is currently a lawsuit where I think the assessor's office is suing the county over funding. I know you can't get into the weeds here. I think there's a date coming up in June for that. What can you tell us about that? What is your understanding of it?
Well, the commissioners filed for a dismissal of that lawsuit when it was brought to us. Basically, the judge set a hearing date for the end of July. The judge did make the statement that she was not going to rule on a budget. There would be no budgetary ruling on her part. She feels like that is the commissioners and the excise board's job. She's mainly going to rule on abuse of discretion, which to me, abuse of discretion is that we purposely withheld money that we had. And anybody that was involved in our budget process, which all elected officials are, should know where we stood with our budget. It was a very tight budget this year, and the other departments their budgets were manageable. The assessor was needing to add some to his budget for maybe some employees and whatnot, and we just couldn't give that to him. So
thus a lawsuit is filed, and I would guess at this point, in a county that doesn't have a lot of extra money, you both have had to lawyer up and spend some money on attorneys.
We've had to lawyer up. I know the commissioners have been out probably about $23,000 on this so far, and like I say, it's not ruling till end of July, so that number's probably going to go up. I believe the last number I was told on the assessor's office was around $12,000 to $14,000. So basically, the money that's being spent on lawyers is probably going to be kind of what the assessor was lacking in his budget.
Yeah, what a quagmire. So, well, we'll see what happens. And then in the meantime, you've got crazy people trying to run into offices, courthouses and stuff. You guys have been working on upgrading security at the courthouse.
True. That's another project going on in the county. Kevin Roselle, our sheriff, he and several others have worked really hard in putting together a plan for courthouse security. Securing some entrances, maybe having a deputy on hand there when the courthouse is open, and it's a sad thing that the world's came to that, but it's definitely become a need, even in rural America.
Yeah, certainly. When we heard the story, we're like, what in the world?
Yeah.
A lady goes on a rampage and tries to go into everybody's office there. So fortunately, no one was hurt. That's the most important thing out there.
That's the most important thing. They had a really good response. Cordell PD's close there, you know, and there were several people that responded quickly to that situation. Just in some instances, it's not quick enough, and we don't ever want that instance to happen. We did hire a new emergency manager. Kenneth Trent moved up to the state level.
Yeah,
and we hired Trey Shelton, which is the Blaine County emergency manager's son. He had worked at the sheriff's office for many years, so we do have an emergency manager in the courthouse now.
And he's a good guy. I hear a lot of great things about him.
He's CLEAT certified, so we do have somebody with law enforcement experience in the courthouse right now as an emergency manager. So
wow,
he'll be able to play both roles for us there.
I like that. Let's get him a gun and get him down. All right. We're talking with Washtenaw County District 3 Commissioner Greg Chandler. Okay, so primary is coming up on June 16th, and there are no Democrats running, right? So
Correct.
This race will be decided. It's a two-person race on June 16th in the Republican primary. Bottom line for us, Greg, why you're the best candidate, why people should vote to let you continue.
I feel like that all my life I've been a public servant. I've got a public servant heart. I like to help people with their problems. All problems aren't always easily solvable. Some problems aren't solvable, but that's something I really enjoy. I'm experienced in the job. I've done that kind of work all my life. I'm vested in the community. I'm vested in Ouachita County. I'm currently very active in Ouachita County outside the safety of our roads and bridges. I'm very active in several boards across the county. My goal is not only to have safe roads and bridges, but it's also to bring rural development and maybe more money into the county, So I feel like with my qualifications, we're on a good road towards that now, and I would like to continue it another 4 years.
All right. Well, Mr. Chandler, thank you so much for coming in and sharing your story and kind of updating us on what's happening in Ouachita County, and good luck to you.
Thank you, Todd. I appreciate the opportunity.
All right. Ouachita County Commissioner Greg Chandler, our guest this morning. Once again, vote in that primary in Ouachita County coming up on June 16th. We'll have more right after this.
State Representative Anthony Moore.
Rick Cook tells it like it is, and he doesn't back down. He's tough. He's direct. Rick doesn't care about political games. He cares about getting results and standing up for our values. I need Rick fighting right along beside me in the Oklahoma legislature.
Conservative businessman Rick Cook will fight to secure the border, protect rural Oklahoma, and stand with President Trump. Rick Cook for State Senate. Tough leadership, real results.
Hi, I'm Rick Cook. Help me make Western Oklahoma great again. Paid for by Friends of Rick Cook, 2026.
All right, 7:35. We got John Matthews joining us now. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. Now, this, in my opinion, is the one situation, or the only situation, where I think the guys that tried to get people to sign the thingy to get the state question on the ballot to make into one primary or whatever that is, you know what I'm talking about?
What are you talking about?
Okay, so the state,
are you talking about state questions?
It was a state question, but it was to have a single primary where they put all the Republicans and Democrats on the same.
Oh, you're talking about jungle primary.
Yes,
yeah. Well, that's what we're seeing in California, and it's a cluster.
Right. No.
So that should be. Thank God that it didn't happen here.
I know, but I'm saying I think the only time it should happen is in this scenario. Whenever you have if there's only two candidates or two Republicans running against each other, and there are no Democrats, then this scenario plays itself out where not everybody gets to vote for their county commissioner. So right now, I'm making up a number, 20%. Let's say I'm making up a number. Democrats in Ouachita County do not get to vote for who their commissioner is. This is the only time. I feel like it should be, everyone should be allowed to vote.
Do you remember, well, you probably don't because you weren't here.
Yeah.
I was going to say, do you remember the 80s and the 70s and the 60s and the 50s where the same thing happened in reverse?
Right.
Only Democrats could vote because the Democrats controlled everything. Now, I do agree with you. I think it's silly that elected offices like county commissioner and sheriff are partisan.
Right.
They should be nonpartisan. Of course, then you had Mike Mazie talking the other day that he thought school board elections should be partisan and have them declare Republican or Democrat. And maybe there's an argument for that if everything else is as well. But that's just the system we have. But a jungle primary is crazy because in the governor's race a few years ago, we potentially could have had two Democrats to choose from instead of, the 8 Republicans because there were so many Republicans running. It diluted the vote out there.
Oh, I agree. No, I don't think it should be that way when there's multiple parties. I just think when there's only one party representing itself, that everybody should get to vote. That's all I'm trying to throw out there.
Change your registration. I mean, there are tons of Democrats that are now registered as Republican in Oklahoma. In fact, some of them are running for governor, getting their drum. I'm sorry. I didn't say that. I'm sorry. That came out of nowhere, Freudian slip. But no, I mean, that happens all the time. But people still believe in the party system. You know,
I agree.
There are more independents now than there used to be, but at the end of the day, we are a tribal society, so we like to go along with the tribes. So you're either the Republican tribe or the Democratic tribe. It doesn't mean you agree with everything that party stands for. I certainly am one of those people, but I want to vote. So I am a registered Republican. Of course, I'm conservative, so that helps, but I don't agree with every single thing that my party does. But, you know, I want to vote in Oklahoma. In California, I was a registered Democrat. Of course, I was also in my 20s and stupid and more liberal back then, surrounded by left-wing freaks, but that was the only way I could vote.
I just think there
California
should be no time where a sheriff is elected and you didn't get to vote for it, or a county commissioner, because those are, in my opinion, one of those important spots.
They should be nonpartisan,
Right.
but I think that's actually in the Oklahoma Constitution. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm no constitutional scholar, but I think that's in the Oklahoma Constitution why those races are partisan.
Well, either way,
it's crazy.
Is what
I
it
agree,
is.
but
is what it is.